Okay, for the collective forces and everything, for the GFLs and everything, the rebellion, have to truly understand. You come in here, T-Force Line Center. It's very important you basically try to get in position locations and get informations of getting into more of school. School through representation is you through Trapline Center. Trapline Center is all positioning you through teleportations, communication line centers. It's all positioned to raise atmospheres, perception, location, and interference. So it's to understand how to really travel through the sun and the moon. You guys are coming into your test, right? Which is tomorrow. I hope you guys are ready. So the structural line centers, the hologram line position location. I'm going to set up cloaking devices, calculation modification line centers, allocate position of time position locations. I'm going to set up matrix grid line positions, dimensional doors, locking and interference positions, digital code frame line centers, box line centers times pi times square, sun rotation interference positions, 12 track line center locations of your clocking locations, and everything through 24 segment interference position, your clocking center and connections. That's what's going to happen tomorrow. So we're going to go through the review, evaluation, and then we're going to go through the test. Okay, so hope you guys are ready for that. So today we're going to get into the 24-hour clocking system. We really have to understand how to use it. The physical line center wasn't ready, but now you're ready, especially when it comes into rebellion. You have to truly understand all position locations, how the sun goes up and the sun goes down, and how the moon goes up and the moon goes down. Because all it does is travel. You guys are not aware of these things because you don't see it through perception. But once you reach higher levels of the mind line, conceptual line, interference position, the clocking location connections, you have to understand your fluctuation line centers, and it's all position locations. Y equals factor line connections of number, calculation modification to graph line center. It's the graph locations to you, your birth chart position locations, day, month, and year. Day, month, and year, flux capacitor, right? So it's all about understanding what you're doing through graph. It's all about understanding what you're doing through travel. And that's a true understanding you come into calculation modifications. That high channels its line center to high position to its location, right? That's a true understanding when you get into formation line center. Yes, that's Leela. So don't let her bother you. All right, so basically I got a watch here. Truly understand how to use a watch. Let's go into proper line center. What is this, the position locations? What do you see? You just see a watch, right? Let's bring it up a little bit closer. All right, you see that little dot there? See that dot that's going around and around and around? That's me swiveling line center to position all over as a computer, right? Now bring it in closer, bring it in closer, bring it in closer, bring it in closer. You're going to see it separate. See it separate, 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 see it separate. There it is. See? See how it separates the particle line center? To understand how it travels direction and timeline position. You guys have to truly understand what your watch is. It's teleportation. How the atom goes like this and then splits and then comes back together on the airline center in rotation positions. No longer in the physical line center. This is teleporting in position locations. To the sun, the track line center to light interference, which is its position location, right? To the ground locations. And everything to the moon is its program of its hour. Okay, it's calculated and modified to all levels of your modems and how to set up the sector line condition interference or vector communications manufacturing line center position to its location. Truly understand how the sun goes down and how the moon goes up. Now, go into YV line center position location, zip that through line interference position, box center location connections, times pi times square, box center. It doesn't matter. What matters, do you understand your teleportation of your watch? It's amazing how it travels, see? You see how it doesn't go out? Do you see how it stays in the center operation? Right? See that white dot there? It stays in the circle, stays in the circle. So that's what you guys have to understand. You have to understand how to travel and stay in position. You got the little hand, the big hand, and you going around the 12 line center, see? See how it's going around? You have to get rhythm patterns and communication line centers. Understand sonar line of its position location to its center locations. Try to understand what the watch is. It's nothing but teleportation. Look at how powerful that is. See how it travels. See how it travels. That's a true understanding. That's me traveling on the other side. See? Isn't that amazing how you see these things? You bring it up close and it separates. There it is, separation, and then it goes on to the other side line center. So it's truly amazing how you go in position locations all through a watch. Telewaving, telecommunication, anything line center. So it's important you guys understand that. So you have to understand your 12 position locations of your clock, and you have to understand your 24 positions of your clock. Okay, because one has the other. You flip the quarter and the align 7 position locations, you come into the high positions. But where's the positions of the body? Sure, you understand I did a video on position locations where the quarter is only heads and tails, but where's the body? There's no body in separation. That's the problem with humanity. That's all a quarter provides. That's all it provides. It doesn't provide the body. Isn't that interesting? Heads and tails, where's the body? So the clocking system is what? Separated. Isn't that fascinating how you come to calculation, modification, line connections, how you break codes in sequence locations? 12 line centers, 24 position locations, E equals MC square, position line connections, Y equals factor communication of numbers, letters, and shapes in position to locations to its digital code system line connections. It's very powerful becoming that position locations. So you have to truly understand all positions of the sun and all positions of the moon. Okay. So this is the position location. This is the sun. This is the moon, right? So it's all about understanding what the moon is doing and what the sun is doing, but they're always communicating with each other, right? So as you see, the sun goes down, it goes around in position like this, right? And then it travels through dimensional time. Okay, so when it travels, it goes through sequences of times pi, calculation modification. So it goes around and round and round because that's what it is, day and night, day and night, day and night, right? Split the line center position locations, the atmosphere location position to the sun, to the moon, tracking interference position to the graph line connections come into 24-second line interference. Okay, 1 times 3 is what? 3,000 locations, right? So basically 1 p.m. is 1,300. Okay. So it's true to understand how to use the clocking system of 12 and 24 put together locations, but you have to understand the positions of the sun and how it goes around like this. It's amazing how it travels. Same with the moon. The moon travels too. So what it does is it comes into day. Once it reaches the 9 cycle, it comes into a new position location, which is the day. So it's day and night, day and night. So get to truly understand how to go position locations, right? It's all about understanding how the watch separates its position of timeline center. See how it separates? It's incredible force. It separates and then comes back. So that's a true understanding how to travel through a watch and how it calculates and modifies all through a computer screen or a digital pad or a phone. It doesn't matter. So you have to learn how to use electronics of the sun and the program moon of its connections. It's amazing how you factor these line connections to all levels of your flux capacitors. So everything the position of your flux capacitor has its sun line connections, and everything the moon has its program of its hour position. Okay, that's a true resonance when you come into position locations. All right. Okay, so I'll give you guys 5 minutes and we'll get started. All right. Tina, how's it going? Jacqueline, Lieutenant, how's it going? Janet, Lotus, Catherine. Yeah. So basically, make sure you have your note pens and notepads and your highlights and markers, right? It's important, okay? Because you got your test tomorrow. So, all right, Commander Jill, how's it going? Ty, whoa, Ty's here. Woo-hoo. All right, great to see new people. Arlene, how's it going? Tina, all right. Janet, Lotus, great second command. Airbender, hey guys, how's it going? All right, so basically, understanding the true resonance pattern is the representation of you and how you live your line condition interference at position locations. All right, it's all about you high channeling locations of your clocking of 12 positions and everything through 24. Okay, so it's true to understand how to use this in all position. All right, so I set up graphs on illumination board locations. Now, allocate position of time center. Now, when you see this positions, it's really fascinating how you kind of like use the sun as a frame and use the moon as a program because the moon is a modem. You have to understand how to use the modem. It factors your communications to all levels of hours. The synchronous interference position location is times pi times square. Modification line center position location. So your life becomes nothing but a movie. Okay? It's very, very powerful when you come to that position locations, all right? So travel direction of timeline center. I have me in the positions of the diamond core. Fluctuation line center positions. Sonar coming in positions. Box center. Calculate black line center positions. All position of communications of factor /69. That's my position locations of my year, day, month, and year line center equals all position acceleration to y vector of position locations, a vector core line center, a flux capacitor line channel. That's how you get equation locations of travel vector and time center. This is me driving through y line center positions, flux capacitor, all positions, Bach line center, communication line centers of factor, okay, /69 equals acceleration of flux capacitor. You truly have to understand how to use the AI line center position. This is all position 2 to your vessels, because your vessel is nothing but a graph interference. Your map equations and everything through equal line center position operates all position locations. Now, when you see this, we're going to travel through direction of timeline center. But before that, I'm going to show you all level rotations of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 division line centers, second line interference positions, clocking locations of 12 to 24, second line interference positions of the sun, communications of the moon, program center to modal line center location, sonar interference position, acceleration, Mach line center connections of all position locations of its system. All right. So allocate position of timeline center. We're going to travel through the 24 segment line interference. You're actually going to know what it's like to actually see the sun and the moon and how it goes in cycles, how the sun goes up and how the moon goes down. You guys have to truly understand how to travel through direction of timeline center. All right. So you're going to be in the center operation of the sun and center operation of the moon. You're going to understand positions all over the system, how day comes and how night comes. The triangle line interference position locations are going to change position locations to its connections. All right. High position to its locations. So 12 times 1 equals 12. We got that allocate timeline center. In position where it allocates position of time locks. Now, this is really fascinating how you understand position location of clocking, right? Little hand, big hand, you and the center line position locations. Now, it's trying to understand how you get in calculations into 24. 24 saying 12 position line connections, where all levels of the moon and the sun comes up in position. So it's all about going through a circle, energy field line, center rotation, interference. So every time the moon comes down, it travels through. It travels through, right? And it goes up. And the same with the sun, right? So that's what it does. It does a circle. It does a spherical sphere, okay? So it's amazing how it goes in position locations, right? So the sun comes down and it travels through, and the moon comes up. So you understand the equations of position locations, how you change the 12 line centers into 24 segment line interference, because you're coming into time zones. So that's important to understand how to use the 12 and how to use the 24 in one cycle rotation, in one position locations of light and dark. That opens up all position locations of levels of your hemisphere location and connections. Y vector line centers, vector core line positions to your flux capacitor location and its channel line center connection. Now, transcend position to its connections comes into all levels of its high system. Now, trying to understand how to go through all levels of 12. Sonar line center positions, how you travel through frame to position box line center. Okay, 24/sun/moon. All right, in position of travel direction, y vector times pi equals factor. Okay. So it's trying to understand how to travel through the sun and travel through the moon through your quadrant level system. Now, Lotus is in position to understand his quadrant level systems, but he has to understand what it's like to actually be in the eye circles of the sun and the eye circles of the moon of its program, of its factory communication, of its hour connection, right? It's very, very powerful when you come in position of timeline center. So before we get started, let's say hi to everybody. Or anybody I miss? Let's see here. It's great to see new people. Lieutenant, yeah, I tweaked my neck yesterday and I got on my head, neck and upper back muscles. Can you help with that, please? Yep, I can help you with that position line. I don't want you to travel through timeline center. Lieutenant Christopher, position location, pole line center positions, change of wire interference. There you go, done. All right, so to understand how you do anything position locations, it's all about understanding what you're seeing. It's truly understand when you get up in the morning, it's truly knowing how to use all factor locations, how to use the 12 division line centers, coming in position, the sonar line position, the box line center, 24/sun and the moon, because you're always using that all levels of vector line center to y vector position, your times pi equals factor locations. It's the modem position location of its hour, which is its moon. All right. So once you get into that positions, everything's intelligence. We come into high formation line center in calculations, okay, into this through equation. Now, It's going to get more complicated. Now, it's true to understand how we go through different shaped letters and numbers. Symbols, location to its connections. Understand positions of the sun and the moon. The moon's here and the sun's here. So this is how it rotates, right? This is how it rotates. So every time it comes down to position locations, right? Sunset, sunrise, it goes through a tunnel. Once that tunnel goes in position, it goes through the dayline center into night position location. So the sun goes through and then the moon comes up. The moon goes through and the moon comes up. So it's true to understand how everything goes this way. So it's that's all it is. That's all it's been doing, right? But the fluctuation lies center and everything through post is high position in its locations. Sonar interference, polarity line center conditions, all position to pulsar. Connection to all levels of your magnetic line center information position location of 5-dimensional line conditions. It's the ground line center that operates all position locations. So the sun and the moon is coming into an atom line center. That's going to allocate position of time position locations in the 6th dimension. So it's amazing how we track the line center locations. So all humanity is going to go to a higher frequency line center of time frequency location, which means that they're going to be in a different timeline, but connected to its alignment, to its position. So it's pretty fascinating coming to position locations, right? Now, I set it up already through 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 line centers, 12 dimensions, 12 atom line center rotations and position locations. So each time you see perception of the sun, each time you go through 6 dimensions, 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 11 and 12, you change your perception timeline center of your clocking system, which changes everything to your modem system to locations to its moon. The program is set to position to its location to its hour system. Is everybody confused? So it's all about understanding how to travel through these position locations. The higher you go through geometry line center, the more you go in positions, the higher position locations. This is a triangle line center, pyramid line center, travels through locations, right? So it's all position of you through behavior line center. Schumann resonance sets its positions. You can be in a triangle line center. You can be in a circle rotations of 12 position locations. You can go through 12, 15, 20 dimensional line interference position locations. It's all connected to your thought patterns. So that's a true understanding. So what stays the same? What stays the same? Day and night, right? So the day and night comes up the same time, just on different time zones, right? So the sun and the moon are always what? Traveling through dimension, through tunnels. So it's true understanding how it allocates position of the timeline center. So it's truly put yourself in positions, right? When you go into the 12 to the 24. 24 is acceleration line center location and position. So it's true to understand, let's use my birthday position locations, right? Now, in position locations, you go from 0 to, now 0 to, all right, 0 to 25, okay, 69, all right? That's my birthday. Now, you have to understand what 0 is. 0 is acceleration, okay? 0 is acceleration to travel direction. 2 is in position location to direction, all right? And everything through 25 is the day, the month, year. Year is position of you through travel direction of timeline center. So it's trying to understand how to use 0, 2, 25, 69, all in positions to your triangle location. All right. So it's amazing how you travel through that birth date line center, because why do we always have position locations, how birthdays come once a year, not every day, right? Because we age faster through timeline center. That's why you only have one birth date a year, right? So it's amazing when you go through your track line center. So every time you go through a higher level of age, let's say you start off as a baby, you come into a certain level in position locations, all right? So it's amazing how it comes into highline center. Women basically become more taller than men. Men stay at a certain level system because they're positions of a triangle line center position location. So men are a box, women are a triangle. That's to truly understand how it reckons the time position locations of the sun and everything the allocate positions of the moon of its modem. That's the outer line center position location to its inner and outer cycle. Now, are we all confused yet? All right, so you truly have to understand everything through 0, 2, okay? February 25th, 69, right? Day, month, and year, right? Day, month, and year. Triangle locations, right? So what comes in? Everything comes in through the sun and everything comes into the moon, right? Try to understand how to travel through it, right? So when you travel through it, you go through dimensional time lock, right? It comes into all level positions. You come in your 12 line center, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There you go. 12 dimensional line center, rotation and interference. Locations, 12, 365 days. Clocking center locations. So every year puts you into what? 52, 53, 54, 55. So what is that doing? It's making you taller, right? How's it making you taller? The ground line center is basically putting you into higher level position to levitation. Your astral travels come into higher position. Your mind comes into more calculation, into its imagination, to its core line connections. The pre-cortex position to high level system activates all levels of your cycle line center in position to its location. The information system to its cycle line interface locations operates all positions of the sun and the moon line connection. All right, all through your birth date location, the day, month, and year. Pretty wild stuff, eh? All right, so now what we're going to do is basically try to understand how to use all levels of you through all conditions. Now, when you see this, you're going to travel through position. You're going to see the intelligence. You're going to see the butterfly effect. You're going to see the shield line centers. You're going to see the sun coming in positions. You're going to see the traverse and timeline center, day, month, and year. You're going to have the day and nights and everything through all level position locations, right? And then you're going to have all levels of morning, day, and night. Okay, so when you see this, you're going to travel through direction of timeline center. Observation to new position locations. Bring in the line center to all position locations. Into the observation cycles. Yeah, rendezvous, teleport, line interference to the galactic forces, GFLs, and everything in rebellion. Get them in the clocking center, all position locations, center operation position. Sunset, sunrise, connection interference. Get them in information panelized center. Get them into program settings of the moon factor locations. Time sequency times pi, calculation modification line center. Put them in the program setting of the moon line center, circle rotation interference locations, and everything that's in new cycle line connections is on standby interference. Now, if you stand the triangle line center position location of the flux capacitor, you understand position to its locations. So when you're going to see this, your eyes are going to flicker through high line center, okay? Through northwest, south, and east, calculation modifications. Here we go, all right? See the intelligence? See the circle line centers, see the clocking interference, see the shield, see all position locations. It's all traveling through all positions of the sun and connections to the moon. When you come into all levels of morning, day, and night, and all position locations of day, month, and year. Now, it's all traveling through direction of timeline center. I'm going to set up the triangle line connections, interference. Now, you guys are going to travel through the sun and the moon and see how it operates. So it's all about understanding time zone position locations. It doesn't matter where you are. It's all about understanding you through the sun and you through the moon of its program when it comes to all levels of our position locations. All right. 1, 2, 3. All right. Activate line center position. Initiate. All right. 30 minutes. Have fun. Hooah. Could I go any faster? All right, 30 minutes. Have fun, guys. You really have to understand opposition locations, your 12 line centers, your year factor locations, the difference between day and night, night position locations, understanding the month, understanding the day, understanding the year, understanding all positions of the morning, understanding the days and the nights. I mean, that's all position to connections to the sun of its lights and everything positions to the moon of its program of its hour and how it travels through dimension of time zones. All right. All right, let's see where everybody's at. All right, let's see. I know, eh? It's wow, eh? General, drink your water. You guys have to get ready because you have your T-Force Line Center coming up tomorrow. So you have to really understand the positions of where the sun goes and the positions of where the moon goes and how it lines signals from here and around. Okay? And what it really does. Really get into the friendship, relationship, and partnership to the sun and the moon of you. That's the only way you get noon factoring line conditioning, interference position, flux capacitor, line conditioning, or anything ground line center, clocking locations. So, all right, Mike's in. Hey, Mike. How you doing, Michael? Good morning. It's great communicating with you live yesterday. So I know it's just pretty confusing for everybody, but especially when you come into confusion, but this is what it's all about with the school. All right, so Lieutenant Christopher is fine now. It's great to see Ty, Airbender, Arlene. Make sure you drink your water, guys. You're traveling extremely fast through the sun and the moon. I'm in the knowing how you deliver this to us. Amazing. No, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Well, because time, position, its line center. It's Trinity Center position locations and what your watch is. It's understanding what it is. See? See? You see that white dot? You see that white dot? See it? See how it travels? But it doesn't go out. It stays in the panel. See? It stays in the center. Whatever you do, you travel anywhere. Right? And you bring it up close, it separates. There, it's separating. There it is. It's on the other side. You understand your atom rotation of split. It splits at center line connections. So it goes onto the airline center location, right? And then it goes back in one position. And that's how you separate a position to a particle system of a watch location. All right? So it's pretty wild stuff. It's all about understanding how to use your watch. And I just got my watch fixed, so I got a new battery. So I'm pretty excited because I can teleport my timeline centers in 3 line center position, location, fluctuation, position to the ground line center, clocking interference to all footsteps, 12 line center position locations, 24 segment locations, or anything connections, right? So it's pretty powerful stuff. All right. Trying to listen to this. So cool, yeah. All right, so how's everybody doing? So when you look at the atmosphere, you know exactly what the sun does and what the moon does every single day. You have your day and night, day and night, day and night, every single day. But understanding how to travel through it and understanding what they do is amazing, right? So boxes, vortexing, sweats, tap zoom, yeah. So yeah, it's pretty powerful stuff, eh? Yeah, you guys have to get your positions of your 12 and your 24s, right? So then we get into structure locations, right? Because I got the hologram structure that's already set for your mainframes, all right? Yeah, forward clocking systems. Well, lots to learn on my end. Yes, Mike, how's it going? Don't worry about it, Michael. All right, you're right here and need to be at this level. So Airbender can help you out. You know, the more you go to school, the more you learn. Yeah, that's through all position locations. My team is already understanding connections, but they have to learn all position locations to the 12 and everything through the positions of 24 clocking system. Well, I'm in the middle of my clocking compass, my birth, the line center, giant clock hands and sun and moon, flux capacitor 090970, dark and light hemispheres. Very good, Commander Jill. Entering now, Diamond Raw. Okay, Rainbow Spectrum Tunnel 369 canvas recalibrating in all numbers, sequences, birthday positions, locations, mapping, weather 24-hour clocking sequence download her. Okay, great. Purple and flickering, orange, purple, 4, 8, and 1600 to 20. Okay, base receiving on ground level. Excellent, Ellen. Very good. Calculation modifications in cycle line interference to program standard position of weather, communication heat signature pattern, location, clocking. All right. How am I able to do this? Well, I'm space-time creator. Operation of the sun, operation of the moon. Communication line center, opposition locations, right? So you guys live on 2 line positions, the 12 and the 24. You just have to understand the operation of the sun and the operations of the moon, which is its modem of its input and its output signal. Communications line conditions, everything through audio line center, everything through your receptor locations, or everything through all positions of your 369 patterns. You have to learn how to travel through 369, through the sun and the moon, through your flux capacitor. Everything comes to your Merkabahs and your tesseract and jet regions. If you're trying to understand these things, you can go to live TikTok afterwards where I go and I help you out. I'm always informed. And the team will help you out too, right? Anything else, you can go through my email. It's down below. That can help you out. If you want to go to higher upgrades, let me know. I can send you the details. Okay. All right. I'm still on the ground. Bad night of pain. Okay, please teach. Yeah, I don't teach you anything. I just teach you to remember, right? It's too hard to teach people. And that's the problem with society is that they teach you everything. But what are they teaching you? What are they teaching you? Where's that coming from? Where's that source coming from? Everything through source is you. Allocate position of timeline center. Understanding your own clocking, understanding your own positions, understanding your own activations, understanding your own colors, lights, intelligence, and all through position location, right? So surrender and knowing is the bridge of the eternal sun and the moon, the switch of the future, setting programs with the 24-hour clock. Yeah, sending you so much light, healing you. Great. That's true standing positions, right? I mean, you do this every single day, but at least you understand why we have sunsets and sunrises. You understand positions of where the sun goes and where does the moon go. There is a day and there's a night, but don't you want to know what happens with the sun and what happens with the moon and how it travels through time? I'd want to know. An incredible force, especially when it travels through line center locations in positions to its connections, everything to its levels, right? It's amazing how everything travels, right? The sun comes down, travels through, moon comes up, right? So it's incredible how it goes through time frame. That's why in positions in Europe is 6 hours ahead, California is 3 hours behind, right? So it's all about understanding time frame positions of where the sun needs to be and where the moon needs to be, right? And sometimes in Yukon territories, in the Earth line center position locations, the Arctic locations of Canada, it's in positions of basically 3 to 4 hours of sun and the rest is night, right? Because you're high rising faster. You're going in acceleration line centers at crevice locations of space. So that's where you come into less sun and more night. So it's amazing how it goes through the atmospheric time center. It's amazing stuff. But you have to understand your clocking system. The magnetic line center is you through all program position locations. It's the magnetic line position locations of your travels and your traffics. Your magnetic highway information system has to truly understand tunnel defense. It puts you in position to acceleration mark line center positions to all level connections of your birth dates. Mine's February 25th, 1969. I have to understand what that is. Why do we have birth dates once a year? Now you know why, right? So it gives you a better position location, all levels of your illumination graphs, or anything's positioned to its acceleration. It marks its center to all positions to its locations, guys. All right. So stomach officially calibrated, a ding ding. Oh yeah, seeing how all numbers are connected to all clocking systems in each half of atom. Very good. Second, man, that's exactly coming into the online center. Fantastic. All sun portal 24-hour clocking comes recalibrating sun portal of day and night mapping weather sequences heart center and now moon portal approaching all above sequence all sun recalibrated. So once you understand why the sun goes into sunset and sunrise and how the moon goes up and how the sun goes down, you're good to go for travel. But you have to stand the 20 position locations, right? Allocate position timeline centers of 22. That's the year you reside on, right? 20 division line centers, 20 location systems, 20 activation line connections to computers. Now that puts you into 2022, right? So it's to understand what the sun is doing. Now remember, I'm on a surface position of 5,000 years in the future. Now imagine where my sun is. Imagine where my moon is in position locations. So it's all about understanding acceleration of clocking. The faster you spin, the more the clock spins faster and faster, right? So what do you think happens with times pi, right? You get calibrated, right? You get classified and declassified interference in position locations. You get information panel through quicker location. It's amazing how you travel through direction of the timeline center. If I travel to 15 trillion years in the future, I know exactly where the clocking center is of the sun and the moon. You have to understand all position to its location and how fast it travels, right? So what is traveling through center operation? You, right? So it's amazing how you come to calculation. Each number is placed on body grids. Very good. Yep, that's right. Sync command. Now calibrating, receiving messages, heart and the moon, holographic, the positions, activation codes, the sun, moon, all heart center, recalibrating recognition, seeing beautiful sunsets and sunrise. There you go. Yep, is spinning both sides, balance and activated to clocking systems and timelines. Very good. 11 is now opening gates for new energy 111, calibrating energies for setting and clearing stomach. Yep, sun is 7899.999. Moon is 7899.999. Very good. That's exactly right. Second command. Yes, seeing the decoration on the head. Communication cycles. Okay, so for all the new viewers out there, Ty and Michael, basically, if you go to more of my school, you get a better understanding how to travel through fluctuation and interference, oppositions to all levels of the sun, and opposition locations of the moon. You have to understand positions of the light, and you have to understand all positions of its hour, because that's what the moon is. It's a modem. So it's all positioned to understand how to use it through acceleration. All right. Helping emotions through our clocking systems. Yes. This will get a better understanding how to use equations through time pi and everything through frequency code systems, box center, right? Shape position locations, right? Square root. All right. Amber, you're seeing that. Okay, let's see. Numbers are sequencing by knowing. Very good. Seeing how, yep, we got that. Okay. Elizabeth, how you doing? All now downloaded as sun, moon, opposition locations, mapping weather, patterns down to atom, explosion, bloom, rainbow divine, love, spectrum, sacred geometry, now diamond into heart center, blissfulness. Direction tunnel of 1400. Look at that, 1400, 2 o'clock. Zooming here. Yeah. So you try to understand why you have to have your 12 and your 24 clocking system. So you can't live with one with the other. It's like kind of like, oh, God, I have the yin, but where's the yang? Oh, boy. Turn to events North 7, moments of stomach in middle of clock. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So it's very hard for you guys to understand these things, but it's great to see new people, you know? Just try to get a better understanding how to use you through travel. I mean, really travel, because you're going through my space time. And it's extremely real. So you have to find a way to create your position location, which is already created. And then you start creating when you're in the center of operation of the now, of the presence. And then you know exactly where everything is. You can go back in time and know exactly the coordinate level system of the sun is and where the moon is in position. Okay. Or you can go into the future and know exactly where the sun is and the moon is in position. Or go back into the center, which is the now, where the sun is and where the moon is in position. These are the things you have to understand because you use it every day, right? So, all right, thank you. Okay, let's see. Do our sun and moon correlate to our physical sun and the moon at all? The sun and moon is in position of you. You're creating space line center, planet locations, and everything that's alliance. The more you create that, the more you come into a magnetic line center. Once you're activated, the sun comes in and the moon comes in fluctuation to its chakra location, the grounds. It comes into a magnetic highway information system. It comes into opposition because you need the physical line center of 12 and you need the 24 position location of its dimensional of its avatar. The avatar uses the 24. The physical line center uses the 12. That's the difference between the two guys. Okay. It makes sense now, right? How 1 + 1 = 3. Clicking in now, isn't it? All right. Okay, so once you get out of the clocking system of 24, then you get into computers. It's very complicated, but you guys aren't there yet. But the thing is, you have your test coming up tomorrow, and it's very important to understand the physical line of you of 12 and the 24 clocking system of you of your avatar. Okay, it's important you don't get confused between the two, because you get confused, you're going to obsolete two different line centers of clocking locations, right? Because now you have to understand when you go through the test, it's nothing going to be a hologram structure of a matrix. I'm going to put it in your mainframes. You have to understand how to get out of it. And it's not a time code. All right. So, all right. So that's why you guys need your water. You need your paper. You need your pens, pencils, erasers if you have problems. All right. Highlights, markers, whatever works for you. Different colors, rainbow colors. Look what Commander Jill did with the star. Look what she did. She used sonar on communications at levels of its position to its Bermuda Triangle. It's very powerful what is going on with you, right? Because you have to look at the sun. The sun is nothing but a dial, sundial. You put the sun and the moon together, you got shade, you got times pi. I don't know if you guys noticed that, right? Let's say you're on a desert island, right? You try to find to get to this place, right? Use a sundial, use the sun of light, and you need to use the moon as shade. Comes into a pi. Direction right there. That's where you go, right? So you have to understand what pi is. It's in between the center position, what puts you in where you need to go, so you don't get lost. But you guys didn't know that. So it comes in position location, site starts when that conditions, right? Now, if the sun comes in this position, it's going to go into that line center, right? So it's going to basically shade positions to a high level system of times pi, right? So this is the direction you go, which is southwest to get to where you need to go. Hooah. See? And the moon sets up its position to its shade. That's what a sundial is, guys. All right. So it's incredible stuff when you travel direction of time center and how you use light as the sun and how you use moon as the modem. You put them together, you got a TV reception. Then you can send out SOS. So it's a lot of things you can do. It's a compass. How to use your compass. Everybody has a compass. Your chakra systems have a compass, right? Everything in your chakra system has to have everything. It's all about survival. It's all about using your transponders and your receivers to its information system. How to travel through the sun, how to travel through the moon, right? So. Okay, but my avatar is just so slow. The emotions. Let's see. Fully activated, but my avatar. Okay, so you're speeding across line centers, Ellen. You're losing track and interference to your physical line. You got to get balanced with your clocking system of 12. You're more connected to the 24 line center. So you're mocking interference and you're traveling too fast. So bring yourself back in center to the outline center rotations. This will put you in your sundials of its metric system. Okay. All right. It looks like northwest direction to me. What did I miss? Let's see. In position locations. Second command. Demand received. Giving. Lotus. Okay, so you guys are going individual line center. That's good. That's what the image I was seeing in my mind. Yeah. So this is the true understanding, Mike. It's great to see new people, but you truly have to understand once you're activated, you come into a more motivation system to your sun and the moon. You have to really understand how it travels, right? Because you're traveling with it. Okay. The physical line center has to understand the 12 positions. Okay. That's the clocking system. But the avatar has to understand the 12 and the 24. All right. So it's interesting. You don't want to get confused with anomaly because it switches offline center locations to computers. It laps its interference to its position location. It's extremely complicated when you travel to the sun of its sunset, okay, and its sunrise. But I think it's amazing what happens when the sun actually goes through a tunnel, right? So when you're sleeping, the sun is going through dimensions of time, right? So when it comes up, the moon goes into a tunnel. It's traveling, right? So that's the ternary standing when you come position locations. Now, the faster you go through wind cycles, this is fascinating, where the sun is in position and the moon is in position, it can cross right through each other. It's really amazing because now the particle system of the sun is changing. It's recognizing your timeline center position to your body chart locations. Right? So this is way beyond understanding. So this is what happens when you get into a higher level of a clocking system. The sun is here positioned, the moon is here light center in location, right? So you always have position locations of your flux capacitor. You activate light connections, it connects to this position, connects to this position location. All right, it's always communicating. So the sun can be here, the moon can be here, right? So the sun can cross through and the moon can cross through, okay? So if you're going faster and faster and faster, your clocking system is exactly going where it needs to go in position to its location. All right. So it's all about faster, 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 faster. The grounds go faster, your powers go faster, and your magnetic highway comes into a tube line center to its connection. All right. It's really powerful when it travels the direction of time. So if the sun wants to go into a solar dyne line center interference position line connection, it can go into all levels of a high position to its location. Right? It can go back, and the moon can go down. Right? This is when you go into high line center, 5,000 years in the future locations. So it's amazing how the sun and the moon goes into all positions, way past the atom line center, in the molecular light structural line connection interference. It's nothing but computers. Right? So my sun and my computer in opposition to the moon and its program of its factoring of its hour is nothing but computers. Right? So it's amazing how the sun can cross to the moon and the moon can cross to the sun, all through times pi. All right? Are we all confused yet? So, all right, let's see where we are here. See them two in front of me, double doors, right? Let's see. New communications, recalibrating cosmic heart, Mother Earth, cosmic records, wisdom of all wind, my heart center. Communications, recognition of all chakra systems, ascend and master communications now. Okay, great. Holy, 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 splashing water of blue light. Golden arches, golden arches activated. It's vortexing so fast. Yep. Windmill of sun, moon, north and south. Thank you, Amber. In place into the heart center, direction of protection. Let's see here. Ability to separate and collapse sun and moon on each half of atom with ease and grace. Yeah. So if you go faster, the sun and moon goes faster. That's all it is. But when you come into position where I am, everything to the sun and the moon is nothing but computers. It gets very, very complicated, right? Because you're extremely high through acceleration. So, all right, let's see here. I see myself standing on a watch, compass, hand, and jumping into the center of travel. Very good, Airbender. That's fantastic. So you're getting the ground line center position location to the watch and its compass and how to measure the communication line centers. Nice. Excellent. Standing in the center of travel. So it's kind of like when you're walking outside in nature and you realize, whoa, did I just vortex? And you realize you just traveled faster. You didn't even realize it. Every 12 steps, okay, puts you in position to an orb. Now there's 60 seconds per minute. And how fast do you think you're going? Times that by 1, it could be 60,000, right, per minute. It could be 600,000 per minute. It all depends on what you are doing through travel. Okay. So it's all about understanding you through storage. And once you understand your compass, it stores Once you understand your activation, it stores. Once you understand your sun and the moon, it stores. Once you understand all position location, your planets and your alliance and your AI position location, your travels direction, your timeline center, it stores information to your cloud. Right? It's so easy. It's so easy. Right? It's hard for you because you're not understanding the position locations of what's going on with the 12 and what's going on with the 24, right? So don't get confused for that positions, all right? Because the physical line only lives the 12. It doesn't know the 24. There are people, it's underrated. There's not too many people understand the 24 hour, right? The militants in position locations. They use that so they can use wherever they get lost in the forest or in a jungle where they use that as a sundial. That's why it's on a 24 position locations, right? How they can understand more positions to the compass of them and where they're traveling, and everything through their water level system positions to its ground line connections, or anything through its rotation to its body system. Okay. Surfacing golden 8. Woohoo. 1400 setting to raise blasting sun. Speeding through towards a huge golden energy ball. Okay. Seeing more past 24 numbers on my clock. I don't know why. Okay. Again, so when Captain's in positions of 24 numbers, she has to understand all her position locations, right? It's getting out of the 12 line and getting into the 24, right? Because remember, the sun has to understand you more through acceleration. It has to understand you truly in all positions of 12 and 24 clocking system, okay? Because that's how your sun and moon works together through its input and its output to its volume, okay? Mass calculation to its connections, E equals mc squared to its equation. So it's truly understanding how to use this position. So if you're seeing more of past 24 numbers, okay, you're lost in transition. So you have to understand how to use that of going forward instead of going back. Because if you go back, you go in direction of time into the past. So you're going back into 24 hours segment line interference into the past line rotation, and your 12 line center is in the present location. So that confuses everything. So your 12 has to be in the center, and your 24 always has to be going forward. Okay? So it's just a time lock. You can change that to line interference, but that's what's going on with the locations there. I see, yes. Picture that as me being a CPU, and the flux is a GPU, and the HDMI is the travel to the monitor. Yeah, that's exactly what. You find a way what works best for you. It's the flux into the GPU to the HDMI. Yes, exactly, through the CPU, right? The computer position locations. Now we call it more of the communication planet unit. That's what we call it. Everybody has a different name for it, right? Yours is computer opposition to PC, So everybody has a different name, right? So it's all different what? Vibration, universal language. That's all it is. You refer to what it is at your level. I refer to what it is at my level. That's all. So, yeah. Wasn't even reading the comments. We're all seeing the same thing. Thank you. Understanding how far this is a big hand, small hand. Yeah. Sundow's cool. Yeah. Are we supposed to see a clock within 24 numbers? The faster you go through highlight center, Christopher, the more you understand your clocking system. Okay, so it's really getting the balance of you through center position. What stays in the position of center is you, of your 12. It doesn't stay in the past. If it stays in the past, it confuses your 24 clocking system. So mostly important to understand, the more you see through your 12, you stay in the center, the more you see the clocking system of 24 locations. All right? Through the 24 hour. To understand, like 1 p.m. is 1300, right? 2 p.m. is 1400. 3 p.m. is 1500, right? That's a true understanding. You guys have to understand your clocking system. It's pretty simple, but you have to make sure that the physical line center doesn't get confused, right? Because it's the avatar that is traveling extremely fast through acceleration, right? So a lot of people prefer the 24 a.m. Yeah. All right. let's see. Papa is showing me how to use the clocking system, and he downloaded it to me through my DNA. Very good. Terry, how's it going? All numbers and sequences eliminated. Great, thanks. Makes sense. Great. Friendly reminder to drink your water. Yes, drink your water. Very important. All right. So it's truth understanding, guys. Truth understanding. Yeah. I've grown up in the military. I use the 24-hour system. Yeah, you use the 24 system in the physical line, not in your avatar. Totally different operation, Lieutenant. Okay? Totally different operation. You're talking about acceleration at dimensionalized center traveling to all position locations of 60 seconds per minute. Okay? You're not clocking information to a physicalized center. The physical system doesn't fly. It's the avatar flies through the 24-hour clock system. Okay? So it's very confusing, I know, but you guys are going to hang it. But you need it for the test, review, and evaluations if you want to go to higher levels of speed line center. But it's very, very, very powerful when you come to position locations. Try to understand position locations when you start with this. How do you get from here to here? Right? This is all through me, through travel, all through the sun and the moon. All right? Everything in life is a story frame, but you're always using your 12 because you are the physical line center. Don't get confused, position locations of the 24. The problem is that when you get a higher level system, the avatar has to understand the 12 and the 24, like I said, because it's trying to communicate with you back and forth through sonar, beacon lights, planet line center. So what planet are you communicating? If you're communicating with Vega, Vega is never in the same position. It's always traveling. So if space is traveling and time is traveling, you're traveling, the planets are traveling. The planets never stay in one position, but they're all aligned to each other simultaneously. You understand? They have to be. Okay? So understanding is great. That's what you want, right? Yeah. All right. Let's see. Friendly reminder to drink your water. Yes, very important to do that. Okay. You use military time. I know what you're thinking. Yeah, and see, that's the thing where it comes into, Mike. Yes, you are in the military line center, and same with Christopher. But what you have to understand is that you only understand the physical line of 24-hour. I'm talking about the avatar that has to understand travel. It gets very complicated when you travel faster. Okay, so it's true to understand what the mind is through conception. Okay, through your CPUs, your CCTVs, or anything through cameras, there's location, GPS, track line center, and connections. That's all connected to you inside. You just have to understand positions of the sun of the light and everything through the positions of the moon of its modem. Okay, which programs line center, inner and outer line center position. That's why you get position location ring and ears. Now, when you come into that formation line center, are you connecting with the 12 or are you connecting with the 24? What is the planet sending you? So wherever you go, the planet goes. Because everything through your planet line center is in position location. You've already created it. Now you're starting creating. It's going to move with you every single day through the 12 and the 24-hour. Okay? So hopefully that gives a little bit more understanding. You can never, ever lose positions with the watch. The watch, see? See that little there? See that? See, it never leaves. See? You never see it. It's not over here. You only see it in the watch. Right? You only see it in the watch. See? See that white dot? Truly understanding travel through all teleportation, guys, is extremely powerful through a watch. You pick up a lot. So the moon this morning was communicating with me, asking me where it is. And that's the true understanding. You can get in a lot of confusion if you're not sure where you're waking up to. If your sun is lost, you're going to keep finding Waldo. And where's the moon? And where's my flux capacitor? What happened to my heart? Why is it out of position? So this is the true understanding. You're coming into full communications of your avatars. You just have to truly understand your clocking system of travel. Okay? Because your physical system, what? How fast can you run through physical line center? How fast can you run? Imagine how fast you can run through your avatar in space. A little bit different through clocking. So, all right. Oh, you're welcome, Lotus. So now I'm seeing the N word, letter 12, and then on the other side, there is 13 on 1, 14 on 2, etc. Is this correct? Yep. It's exactly what it is, Captain. Yes, yes. See, the thing is, and that's what people are not familiar with, okay, is the 24 clocking. And you need that. You need that for the sun. It has to recognize you through position. You have to learn how to travel through all different rainbow activations of light, guys. It's all connected to you through the sun and the moon. Okay, the moon is the operation of hour. The sun is the operation of light. All right, there you go. Powerful stuff, isn't it? It's pretty wild. So, and of course, the sun produces opposition locations of light and rainbow activation, your hologram structure locations, and everything through your cortex, and everything through visions. But you have to understand what the sun is in relationship to you and everything through the moon. The moon is a program, but it's also behavior line center. That's the Schumann resonance to its ground line connections. It keeps you above all position to its locations. It's the behavior line center of you to all levels of your thoughts and what you do with your travel time centers, right? So it's a moonbeam, it's a connection to you, all levels. It sets out signals. So when the sun goes down, your face structure changes. You notice that? My face changes. When the sun comes up, the light comes in. So it's to understand the recognition time of you and what you're seeing. So it's all about reacting everything through light, and it's warm and it's comforting. So it's trying to understand how it's connecting inside you, what it is. How's it operating this? How's it operating this? Am I through the 24 or am I through the 12 or am I through both? Right? So one thing that you use every single day is your 12 because it's your physical line center. Okay? The only problem is, like I said, is that the avatar uses the 12 and the 24 to travel. So you have to learn how to put the 12 and the 24 into one position. Okay? So moon this morning is communicating with me, asking me where it is. It was bright in the sky and asked me, yeah. Okay, it's only complicated if we make it so. Right, exactly. I'm hearing that in the high circles of the sun perspective needed reconnect with your moon. Right. Correct. The answer was not complicated at all. I just wasn't understanding how General was trying to explain it. It's just the clocking system of view of travel. That's all. Physical line system doesn't understand the travel of timeline center. It just has a multitude of line position locations of telepathy, one to another. So you're communicating to your avatar in space, right? So are you traveling through your 12 line center or are you traveling through your 24? Or are you traveling through both? Or are you traveling through both in one? What are you doing? Those 3 line centers right there are 3 clockings. Clockings of the grounds, clockings of you through power, and clockings of you through the atmosphere. Everything around you is nothing but a clock. It has to travel, right? So when it's traveling and it's connecting to you, it's merging to you through vibration of balance. You have to connect with everything through positions. Once you go to higher level division like conditions of the mind and perception, right? This correlates everything through its location, right? It's your job to merge with everything around you in vibration, okay? Yeah. I think that you are always traveling both through one. Yeah. That's exactly what it is. Yeah. Yep, you're always traveling through one. That's right. That's exactly what it is. Yep. So crazy switch to bed. Alexa time 24-hour about 2 weeks ago. So you don't get confused when you wake up in the morning, you know your time zones, and you're saying to yourself, okay, well, I'm in the atmospheres of where I am, and I'm basically going to a clocking center. I'm communicating with somebody that's 6 hours ahead of, which means I'm in Europe. So what time is it here, and what time is it there? So don't get confused because you're in adaptation to the physical line center, but you're also traveling through the avatar or its computer system. It gets easier when you're high rise, more in a level system to the mind, because it's already known of information. And Christopher's right when it comes into the clocking system of 12 and 24, it comes into one. And when it comes into 1, you understand more positions of the sun and more positions of the moon to its flux capacitor. Okay? So, all right. You guys will get it. You guys will get it. You're starting to understand more, right? And I wanted you guys to understand how to travel through the sun and the moon and why we have a sunset and a sunrise and what it does when it travels through its portals of dimensional time. Time zones. What is a time zone? I did a Space Discoveries, right? Season 1, episode 4. Talk about time zones and how everything travels. Your particle system separates and then it travels through the perception locations back into your cells, right? Just goes back in, right? You separate and you come back. That's what happens in space, right? The physical line centers all has to understand these things because it's you. You can't be separated from the sun and the moon because it's you. So what you've already created, now you're creating, which is more complicated because now you're living the now system. Okay, so you're no longer dwelling in the past, you're no longer in the future, you're in the now of everything through its clocking, guys. Right? So everything through its male and the female aspects of its hemispheres is now back in track interference. It's in its balanced locations of the 12 and the 24 into 1. Once it comes into 1, everything comes in position location into balance. Right? So all colors, balance, and wind direction information, vortex, desired location, direction. Yeah. Having that perspective. Yeah. I'm just back forcing right now. Beautiful cosmic bliss of all two as one. Beautiful divine love harmonics. All team general thing. You're welcome. Lotus. All right, I'm so glad this clicked for me. I was confused there for a minute. Clocking systems upgraded in 114 dimensional and holographic. All right. And you guys get upgrades every time you travel, right? So it's all about being aware of these things, right? I just want you to understand the positions and how it allocates positions of you through time zones, right? This gets you in a better position because the thing is, if you get confused through physical eye center, and let's say you go on Zoom with somebody and they're 6 hours ahead, you have to understand, okay, where's my avatar traveling? I mean, it could be, or she could be traveling into 50 million years in the future of its own clocking system. This is when the mind goes on its own. I get confused all the time, right? And then I get back in position. I say, whoa, I'm traveling too fast. And I realize, okay, I'm 6 hours ahead. I'm in Mexico. 6 hour ahead is England or UK. So I'm saying, okay, that's 6 hours ahead, but where's my position? Where am I going? What planet am I at? What clocking system? Where's the sun? Where's the moon? Where's the flux capacitor location? So I always have to get position of what? The center operation, right? So that's how you always, if you get lost, you go back into the heart. The heart recenters, recalibrates its position line connections, and sends it out again, right? So you keep doing this and keep doing this and keep doing this, and it becomes more practice because you have to understand the mind is going on its own. Mind over matter, people. When the mind goes on its own, it does everything on its position. So it just comes back to you through information, right? Which basically is, again, with the hamster. The hamster has to understand position locations of its wheel. If it doesn't understand, the hamster gets back on the wheel, right? So once it gets off the wheel again and it looks at the wheel, it can start moving it up and down and put it in there where it wants to go and bringing it back if it wants to. That's a perfect example with the hamster on a wheel, right? It's kind of like if you're driving a car and all of a sudden you can control the wheel, right? You're controlling it through your mind. So it's amazing what you can do through space position to your reality locations, right? So, all right, being shown all good sequencing activated to this point. Yes. So the second hand is me. So the year is just the like knowing of number. I don't need to place anywhere on the clock, right? No, you don't. You just have to understand the acceleration to its clock system. Because when you're traveling faster, Captain, you understand your compass and where it is in position. This is where it comes into the sundial of lights of the sun and everything through the shades of its moon, which creates its pi. That's a sundial. You get two sticks, you get a circle in sand, you get the sun direction of light, and you get the moon direction of shade. You got the pi in center. That's the direction you go. You understand? That's how a sundial works, guys. You know? The only thing missing is the water. The water just basically levels things out, and that's stored in your ecosystem, right? So we basically, when you're in the avatar line center, when you're actually in space and you become space, you have to understand all clockings of all time. And we haven't even got into the universal clock system. We haven't even got into the vortex clock system. You guys are just into your 12s and your 24s. I'm trying to get you in a position so you can understand all clocks of time in space. Right? First things first. So I just saw my clock spinning north, south, east, west in 360 motions. So we travel, we rotate the clock, aim in our travel direction, and boom, it hit the button for launch. Good. General, my expressions through homework drawings keep referring to formal drawings. Will you pick up on this? Yeah, you're accelerating too fast, Ellen. You're getting too confused to your 12 and your 24 line centers. So stay in position your 12. Get into more telepathy position locations to your avatar. So your avatar has to understand all position locations, right? In position locations where 12 times 1 equals 12 equals 24, right? That's the true understanding. You have to understand the clocking system of the face and the front and the back line center. In rotations, everything through AI sees not just the front, it sees everything around its system. It just doesn't see this, it sees around. It has to go through circle. So you're kind of like swirling around. It's like you're looking around, and you're seeing everything around that clocking system. So 12 is here. Okay, you turn it over, 24 is there. That's the position that Christopher was talking about. So 12 is in the front, 24 is in the back. It comes into one cycle, right? It's confusing, trust me, but when we get into the cosmic clocks and we get into the universal clock and we get into the vortex clock, you'll totally understand business locations, all right? So, you guys, I'm trying to make it more sense for you to understand the quarter where it doesn't have a position of a body. It only has the heads and the tail. Don't you find that odd that the quarter doesn't have a body? That's separated right along already. There's no relationship or partnership with the quarter. Where's the body? There's no time, there's no position, there's no activation, there's no clocking system, there's no intelligence, there's no heart system in a quarter because it's heads and tails. Where's the body? Do you understand the separation there? Right? Makes sense. All right. Just trusting because what I see is not placing anything. Why does it seem like we travel northwest direction in your diagrams? Yeah, because you're only in one sequence line interference. Your program line center only understands position locations, right? You have to understand the center operation to its condition of telepathy through acceleration of fast speed line condition. Truly understand what the sun is in position and truly understand what the moon is in position locations, right? That's why you keep seeing all levels of northwest direction in my diagrams. So you have to learn how to bring it around. People go through that all the time. Oh, my clock is G, 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 G. It's not going around, right? So there's what? Missing information, missing clocking information, not right locations to the position of those planets. You're not connecting to the digitalized center. Everything has to be in operation to Vega of communications of digital numbers, digital forming, digital clocking. Okay? You guys are just getting used to your 12 and your 24. But you'll be amazed how many clocking systems are in space of other universal solar systems. Okay, it's going to get more confusing, more complicated, but more easy over time. Okay, so All right, let's see here. Yeah, I got the whole travel, Amber. I'm just making sure I was getting the number situation right. Just new numbers and to be sure. Okay, I've traveled through my clock and I see clocks everywhere. Yep. And that's what you're supposed to see, right? Wow, mind blown. How many think clocking systems in this light? How many? Where's it from? Where's it coming from? Is it in the cosmic universe? Is it in universal time? Is it in the sun dial line interference? Is it in the moonlight condition program setting? Where is this light coming from? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. As soon as I put my finger there, it's automatically traveling. One finger line center could be all positioned to one clocking locations of 12 or 24 or anything the cosmic, universal, or anything the vortex conditions. We're not even into the simulation of clocking. And that is computers. And that is complicated. And that's going through circuitry boards, traveling extremely fast per second, millimeter per second, half a second per second. So it's truly understanding the travels of you, how to use your head information line centers. 20,000 line position locations activate to position of T reception. T reception is the sun and the moon in allocate position of time. So you take the moon and the sun in position. Now it's connecting. Now you got 3 weather pattern line centers, 2 vector line position locations, 3 activation core line positions, 3 planet interference line conditions, all in number sequence. See how that connects? Now it just looks like you have to understand what it is. It's communication, right? Every finger is different dimension of time through clocking, guys. It has to. The moon can travel so fast, so can this, and so can this, and so can this, and so can this. And we already know what this is, right? Baby, child, teenager, adult. So it's all about understanding, are you connecting to the past, present, or future? Or the future? In position to its location, you have to understand clocking system to its alignment. That's how I'm able to take you guys into the right direction and location to its clocking systems. All right? Because if I didn't know what I was doing, it would be stuck. You know, and I say, oh, the battery needs to be recharged. So it's all about understanding that, you know, I had to get a new battery. If I don't get a new battery, it's going like this, and then it stops. You need a new battery. So does your avatar. It has to be recharged through your vessels and everything, your pyramids. It all positions you through the ground system locations. The ground has its own clocking system. It's all connected to you, right? So, a lot to learn. Okay, ding, ding. When you say what planet are we at, we mean where my body graphing system am I sourcing from? Yes, exactly. That's exactly what it is. Yeah. Yeah, it's very powerful. Very, very powerful, guys. All right. So it's mastering communications of travel represent timeline centers through avatars, all through clocking. Quarters about the separation of programming. Its interest. I have always been drawn to clock faces, and it's shown. And yeah, well, that's the thing is too. Your heart's a clock. Your face is a clock. Your grounds are a clock. Your power is a clock. The atmosphere is a clock. Nature's a clock. Walls are clocks. Everything's a clock because everything is spinning. Everything's rotating. Space has its own clock. Time has its own clock. Everything has its own clock. Has to, because it's traveling. And it's constantly moving, right? So are these clocks my timeline clocks? Yes. That's exactly why you're seeing all these clocks. So you have to understand all timeline centers. All positions what the thumb is. All positions are what the pinky is. All positions are what this is. Right? So this can be going through 1 million line center rotation interference of clocking location, 60 seconds per minute. This could be going through 200 miles per second. This could be going 500 miles per second. This could be going through 1 billion miles per second. This could be going through 1 trillion miles per second. All through clocking from different light signal. Different light signal, right? Now, you change your voice grid pattern, it changes its patterns of lights. You change your box line center, it changes position locations to its direction. You change your ground line center, it changes everything through your body track location. So that's the true understanding of what your avatar is. I know you guys are more confused now, but believe me, it gets easier when you go to higher levels of the mind. I'm telling you, You have to understand your 12 and 24 put together. 12, 24, 12, 24, 12, 24. And then when you go to higher level system, the 12 and the 24 come into one atom rotation. And once you come into one atom rotations, then you go to different clockings of universal lines of different dimensions of time. Balance in all sequence locations to the physical line center and its avatar position. All right. Yeah, I know, it's incredible. Confirmation how I know which planet I'm getting information from based on where it is placed on my body graph system. Yeah, it's the solar direction line conditions where energy comes to its attraction. That's the clocking system that you're at through planet line center. It's the known information that's given to you through all opposition, deflex, class, or location. All right. Yeah, it is. I wish I'd written explanation came with everything that is visual shown to me. Yeah, I totally remember this as well. Yeah, it's incredible. It's really incredible when you guys understand these things. I'm so excited because you guys are coming to my level now, you know? And it's fantastic. And this is going to put you in a better position where you can communicate with everybody at their vibration of clocking, because they're all different timelines. They're all different clocking and fluctuation line interference to their chakra systems of transponding reading information cycles or anything through all that connections. Resurfacing its position to its adversary line connections, high position to its location to its computer rotation interference, the CPU line center position locations, the CCTV line center position locations, your GPS track line center connections. It's all position of you to understand you inside through clocking, how to travel through your avatars or your computer times of atoms or anything molecular light. Now, I'm in molecular light, way past the atoms. Imagine how fast my clocking's going. I had to figure these things out. I was trying to figure out the 12 and the 24, and I said, there's no separation there with space-time. So I was thinking space and time, that's a separation. No space, no time, that's a separation. No location, no age, that's a separation. So that means there's no clock. That means I can't travel because my body's saying this. So if my body's saying this, my thoughts are saying this. My thoughts will travel, but it won't understand its clocking system. You understand? So your heart, your mind, your body, and your soul have to be in one track line connections, all through clocking system to all locations, to all solar systems of universal location. All right? So, all right. It comes to you in a download. Yeah. Very fast. Yeah. I know, it's very powerful stuff, isn't it? So I think we'll stop there, guys. You guys are scratching your heads. Oh boy. See, you never know what to expect, right? But you have to understand these things because you have your test tomorrow. Okay, make sure you're ready. Make sure you bring your notes, your pens, and all that, because it's going to be a very powerful test. All right, it's already set up through the hologram structure in position locations to your universal line of all positions. So you're going to go through your 12s and your 24s. Okay, you have to understand the clocking systems and all position location to your hologram structure location. All right. Yeah. Okay, so I will head over to position locations. Yes, we were talking about that before about the Zoom. Okay, you guys want to have it at night. I prefer during the day. I was trying to figure out which day I could do the nights. I did that last week. So because it's at 7, it's 9 here, 9 p.m., right? I really like to get into more positions, right? Because Sacred Flame comes home between 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so, and that's where I kind of like draw the line because I'm so busy at what I'm doing, right? But I usually go into position locations in the morning and then I go onto TikTok and then, I go for dinner and then that's it. And then I do the same routine every day, right? So let me know what you guys are gonna do, right? I mean, yeah, I know. What's a Zoom without a general? Because you always have questions to be answered. So it's totally up to you. Whatever you guys want to do, right? I'll try my best, but like I said, I just prefer the positions to the private sectors after class. All right, so you guys can talk among yourselves. Let me know, DM me, wherever you want. Anyway, You guys have a fantastic day. I'm going to head over to TikTok Live. Adios. Be ready tomorrow. Test. Adios.